morning. I had some pretzels and I had some snacks around me. So
I was in my whole entire life just now. I'm like, what you gonna do is you gonna sing no matter where you go. You gonna hum no matter where you
This is true. This is true.
Oh man.
What's going on? Happy Labor Day weekend.
Happy Labor Day weekend. First and foremost, thank you for joining us for the final episode of the season of One-on-One with Courtney Stark. So I am very strategic in what I do.
That's
very,
amazing.
very strategic. And I think we spoke about this prior, and I'm like, I want to have JoJo on the show, but
it's been a while. Right. Oh my gosh, yes,
and our schedules has been so busy. So I'm like,
yes,
I want to get him on the show this season, but my season was like booked out. So as I watched you do your thing on the show, I'm like, okay, if this is lining up the way I need it to, he's going to be my last guest.
That makes it feel so special. It does. That makes it feel so special. Yeah.
It is an honor to have you, brother. I have been wanting this to happen so bad, and I'm happy we've finally been able to make this happen.
Likewise.
So, I got to tell you, I was so excited for you. I was so excited for you, but can you just breathe real quick? Did you get a chance to?
Ooh, oh my God, I feel like it's Labor Day weekend, but I mean, I'm still not resting. You know what I'm saying? I'm still, it's just so much going on, Courtney. You know, I think I'm grateful for it all. It keeps me busy, keeps me out of trouble.
Yes.
And, it keeps me focused on, the goals that I have, but it's been a lot. I'm carrying a lot, but I'm trusting God the whole way.
For those of you who are coming in right now and are tuning in, this is my friend, Joseph B. Clarke. He is an artist, a producer, an international vocal coach. Just to name a few things as I dibble and dabble in here. And we are excited to have you here. I normally start with all of the things that are current, but I want people to understand that this man was born and raised in Mechanicsville, Virginia. It sounds like it is nothing there but some palm trees.
Listen, it's the country, Hanover County, okay? If you are familiar with Mechanicsville or not as familiar with Mechanicsville, yes. Hanover County. Let me tell you, we live there. There's a city, there's a county there, and that's where I was raised. So yes, absolutely.
How was it growing up in Hanover County? And at what point in time did you attach yourself to this gift, right? And say, you know what? This is something that I want to do.
So it's crazy because my parents didn't live in Hanover County. My grandmother did. I was born in Richmond, Virginia, and about kindergarten or preschool, my parents divorced. Yeah. And so we went to live with my grandmother. So my first grade all the way until leaving when I was 20 was with my grandmother in Hanover County. Wow. And I remember even very young, my mother was she still does to this day, but she's a worship leader, co-pastor. And I used to watch her as a young child in the seat, just like, wow, I'm inspired by how she could control a room with her voice and how she allowed God to use her. And I used to be amazed by those kind of things. And so she was definitely my first inspiration. And it kind of started to, I believe I wrote my first song at like 9 years old. I was very oh my God, it was, it's so simple. It's like, I love you because you are God. I love you because you saved my life. So I lift up my hands and say, somewhere around there. I remember that melody in my mind, and I used to sing that over and over and over again. And I got to sing it at church. So in the beginning, it was very kind of like in church, discipline. If you know you from the church, if you know me, that background, you was in church Wednesday, you was in for praise dance rehearsal. I couldn't even dance, but I was in the praise dance, choir rehearsal next day, Saturday brunch or Saturday conference or Saturday meeting, and of course Sunday. So I was always in church. And so church and gospel music really influenced me as a young boy. And I just stuck with it. I loved it.
And to go from, because like you said, you got to be in something if you're in church. No matter what you do, you got to be there. And we are in that same blame. Monday through Sunday, there was always I don't know how we had time to do homework and school stuff, but we had to make it in that church. But you took on the choir, you joined the choir, and this is how dope somebody is. You join the choir as just a regular member, and then flip the script and just start directing it yourself. Come on, God. Come on.
At 12 years old. But I was of course, my stature is very, it's big, it's tall, I got broad shoulders. So even when I was younger, even though I had a very young face, I could as a young boy, because of the knowledge and just the gift that God gave me, but also my appearance.
Yeah.
Really helped to say, okay, I know he's young, but let me listen to him, and that's kind of what kind of gave me that push and allowed people to open up their hearts to receive me, because I was teaching at 12 years old,
right?
60 plus age, and them older saints, they don't play, okay? They have no time for foolishness. They come here for rehearsal. They gonna tell you when you're right and when you're wrong. And so, yes, at 12 years old, I was directing like full adults. It was crazy, and teaching in choir rehearsals and helping other directors teach the music.
So how does one at 12 find a way to separate, right? Because we are so into church and everything that encompasses that when we hit the real world, we're like, oh, you can talk about this. You can you can sing about this?
Yeah.
How did that transition happen? How did that work for you?
So Whitney Houston came into my life.
Come on.
Oh, and let me tell you, just like everybody else, she changed me. She changed me. She was one of the singers that grew up in church, but wanted to sing other styles and other genres and did so well, but always had that sense of a gospel sound. And any song that she sings, any song that she ever released, you can still hear that soul, you can still hear that gospel, that church in her. And I think she was my first inspiration with that. And then, of course, you have the people in church that kind of go against it. And even though things have changed now a little better, back then in the 90s.
Yeah, it was either or. There was no in between.
Yeah, they're not allowing you to do both. No. So I think I was in a situation where I've always been very determined to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you this now. And I'm like, who won't stop me? Because it was the spirit that I carried along with it. So it didn't matter what genre I was singing. I felt like you can still feel the anointing, you can still feel the power, you can still feel, and I wanted to bring that, with other genres. And so experimenting, choral music, being in school and then starting to sing other styles, choral, jazz, you know what I'm saying? You start to just, expand a little bit more. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love everything. Can I sing everything? Or maybe not everything, but can I do this? And I've always been the one just to go get her. Like, I'm going to go for it and see what happens. And it's blessed me to be able to have such a broad audience from church, but not just from church, which I know we'll talk about in a second probably, but my niece and how she opened a huge door after ReSound for people to all over the world from different backgrounds to be able to appreciate and respect my journey. So I just kind of went for it. I heard it, I loved it. I was like, I'm trying it. Let's go.
Nice. So how, you get to this place where you're like, you know what? No one's going to stop me. I'm going to do this thing. And you realize that you're good at this. This is what you want to do, but you're still a teenager. We're still growing. We're still growing and going through these things and this thing called life, right? So let's talk about some of those challenges, because I think people see you now and they see the success. They see all of the things that you've accomplished, but there was some things that you had to go through to get there, right? So let's talk about being at this young age, right? It's a lot of pressure with what you were going through, right? At 12. At 12. So at what point are you saying to yourself, this feels good, it looks good, or it is good. People may assume that it's good, but I'm not okay. I'm not all right. At what point do you start going through that? Because I know for me, it was like 16, 18. For you, when did that happen, and how did you find your way through that?
So I will go the backwards and then come back to the front. So finding my way through anything, I just have built this trust with God. I've built this faith with him that I won't give up on him if he won't give up on me. And I know he won't give up on me.
Yeah.
And he'll never leave me, never lead me to leave me, you know?
Come on.
So, but people don't know this. A lot of people do not know this. I smile a lot because it's something that's genuine, but it also protects me.
Yeah.
And nobody knows this, or a lot of people outside of my close friends do not know this. When I was younger, when my parents divorced, my mother and the pastor that I was attending, the church we were attending, the pastor started to marriage counsel my mother and my father.
Yeah.
A little bit later, my mother and my father divorced, and then my mother and the pastor had, begin to be together.
Yeah.
So as a little boy, seeing that, like, just transpire, like, hey, that's not right. Like, what's going on here? This is not right. And then as I mentioned earlier about my grandmother, my parents didn't move in with my grandmother. They left me and my sister with my grandmother, both of my parents. So I had to look at my grandmother sometimes suffer and struggle to take care of kids that was not her job.
Right.
And she did it with such grace and such humility. And as we got older and we start questioning things, it was very strange. I've never been close to a lot of people in my family. I was always the one that was a little different. One, because of size, but also just how I process things, how I think. I'm very honest. I ask questions. Courtney, I ask questions. Okay, I'm like, some don't right, I don't like it. Yeah.
It was a dip in for me. I asked questions, just so you know.
I got questions, okay? And in church, you're not supposed to, you sweep it under the rug.
Yeah.
You don't question anything because it's all done in God's name, or it's all, you know what I'm saying? So there was a lot of pain, a lot of bitterness, a lot of unforgiveness, because my parents did not raise me. My grandmother did. And my parents were 20 minutes down the street.
Right.
So at that moment, I felt like, and this is something I'm still healing, abandoned, neglected. Yeah. And I would always have this joy on me that I would switch on. And I know a lot of you do that out there. Yeah. You switch it on because you don't want to be the one with the, to get all the attention. You don't want to feel like, something's wrong with you. You just want to just keep going on with a smile. And so I started doing that more and more, but I struggle with a lot of hurt and pain and abandonment and neglect, to the point where I've never felt like I've ever experienced true, like, unconditional love. Yeah. Outside of what I've experienced with God. And so a lot of pain there, a lot of pain that I've had to ask God to give me, like, please heal me, like, heal my heart. Like, I can't do this. Like, I don't know why, but it's like with everybody, that childhood trauma, the things you've seen, it carries with you. And if you don't try to, in a sense, fight it back with positive mindsets, with trying to heal yourself, therapy, whatever the case may be, then you're going that ongoing battle. And that's where I was for a long time, even at 12 years old. Yeah. And if it wasn't for music, if it wasn't for the gift that God gave me, I wouldn't know how to push through it. So it was my faith, but it was also me using my passion. I was like, I'm upset right now, but one thing I can do, I'm gonna go in my room. My grandma gonna come in here and tell me to shut up 10 times. She gonna tell me to shut up 10 times, but I'm gonna sing. Yes. I'm going to sing. I'm gonna sing my heart out. Yes.
That became escape. It became escape.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I just study everything from opera singers to, everybody, every genre. I mean, I would be in the room and, like, looking back, I probably I'm looking at my grandma's point of view, like, this boy is crazy. He's making so much noise. What is happening? And they would have never thought, and I would have never thought at 12, at 9, at these ages where I would be right now. Yeah. So it was definitely my outlet. Yeah. Definitely my outlet.
That's amazing. And I got to meet you as we transition into this. I got to see you in real time as a group member in ReSound. Yeah. And It's so crazy. And I wouldn't say this before, but I can say it now because you're not in ReSound anymore, which we'll talk about. But I was like, who is this dude that can blow like this? Like where did he come from? What planet is he from? Like
Mars.
so much control, so like this. Oh my goodness! And I'm like, it was for me, my mind. And I don't care. And so many people watch the show, but I was like, this is the star, right? Like I love ReSound as a group, but you always have someone who you can feel that. Like I can see all three of you, but look directly at you because I know you're gonna bring this home, right? So let's talk about how you started in ReSound. Was that something like after or during high school? How did that kind of formulate? And we'll get to the other stuff in a minute.
Well, it's crazy because we were telling people for a very long time a lie. The lie was that we all were, and it wasn't a lie like I want to trick you. It was the best way to explain our story in the best short summary when we're in interviews. It was the best way to. Sometimes you have to do that when the story's a little bit expanded. You have to kind of condense it to kind of make it work for, so that's what we did. So I wouldn't say lie, but we kind of changed a couple of things. We said that we all met singing background for production. That's half true. So I was called in to do arranging and vocal producing for this play in Richmond. Yeah. And I already knew Jessica because Jessica and I were family friends. I knew she's like a cousin to me. I've known her since we were toddlers. Yeah. But I met Mariah there teaching her. And I was literally teaching them the arrangement to the background. And then he's now my godfather. Yeah. But my godfather put us together to do background for him for some kind of service or program. We were like, it sounds good. What's going on here? What's happening here? The blend was just naturally there. Yeah. And from there, we literally started off just posting. It's a little different now because we were right at that edge where viral was still groups going viral was still a thing. Yes. Now everything goes viral now, so it doesn't have as much impact. You know what I'm saying? Right. But this one, we was like, what is going on? And so we just kept singing with each other. There was a time, guys, and I want y'all to know this, this is 8 years ago when we first became an official group, because I've known them for 10 years. We've been singing for 10 years, but 8 years as a group. I remember making, and I look at my life and I'm like, Jesus, wow. I remember making $100 a show for about 2 years. Wow. $100 a show. And I think about that. I'm like, oh my gosh, but that's the humble beginnings of how you kind of start. That's how you have, because it's not about that. You have to get your name out there. You have to say yes. Yeah. You have to be available. But we started off. Byron Cage was the one that, I was working for St. Paul's Baptist Church, which is it's a big church in Richmond, Virginia. And I was a youth choir director there, and he was the minister of music. And one time we were in the back preparing for some kind of summer outside thing. And he was like, one of my brothers were like, y'all should sing in front of Byron. We're like, okay. Right. And then I remember Byron recorded, and we were in that room, which everybody knew about that video, that Total Praise video, because that was Facebook was our Facebook the thing, right? Y'all did it for us on Facebook. Y'all was ride or die for us on Facebook. That thing just started flowing everywhere, and then of course at that point we didn't even have a name. We were just 3 black kids just singing a cappella. And three black kids just singing in the room with Byron Cage, and of course after that Jessica thought of the name ReSound, and we just started to do so many things after that. Yeah. That's how we started. Wow. And how the beginning it was very organic, very let's just try something. Which everything in my life has always been I'm just gonna try to put it out there and
see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, it is so crazy because you guys blew up, right? We saw you at the Good Morning America with your Christmas ensemble. Then, I feel like you guys grew together, right? These little small 3 black kids singing in somebody's house, right? Now you guys are making these videos. You're doing these compilations. The The Disney stuff was
yes, that was
insane.
that was the next catapult. Yeah,
and then America's Got Talent.
Woo!
You know what I mean? So you guys grew up together, literally in those years. You grew up together. You did America's Got Talent, and then I remember asking you a question, and you were like, "We're no longer together." And I'm like, "JoJo, wait, what are you talking about? Like, I just saw y'all. What do you mean?"
I know.
So to go through and grow through each other, to then parting ways. What the hell happened? What?
Woo! Oh my gosh. It was me. It was me, y'all. It was me. But, 2 years before I decided to leave, I did tell the girl, and I said, hey, I got 2 years left in me. So one thing that would frustrate the girls, and they don't mind me sharing this part, they were very centered on ReSound.
Yeah.
If anybody knows my career that has followed me over the years, they know I've always had my hand in everything.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where it started to cause friction, where it was like, you need to put this first. I can't put this first. It's not paying on my bills.
Right.
I gotta, you know what I'm saying? I didn't want to be a struggling artist. And I know that there is good in that. There is a journey and experiment that you have to, in that journey.
You can't
stay. Listen, 1 minute it was up, 1 minute it was down, another up. Nah, I can't do that. That won't for me.
Right.
And I've always, at that time with ReSound, I was still a choir director. Then became an assistant minister of music of that big church.
Yeah.
And then I was over Black Awakening, which was at VCU, their gospel choir, which I trained for 4 years, while I was in ReSound. I always wanted to do different things. They ain't like that. They ain't like that. And they didn't have it. And it would cause so much just like trouble with us sometimes, because I'm like, I want to be here for ReSound. I'm doing everything I can for ReSound. I have not missed one engagement.
Right.
I have not missed anything, but they wanted more and I couldn't supply that. And then, just being honest, y'all, The Voice, so nobody knows this. We were supposed to do The Voice a year before America's Got Talent. They were finally doing trios for The Voice. I think it was like a family group like a white family group that did. They sounded great. Yes. So they wanted trios for the next season. So we were there for almost 6 weeks and we were doing well. And we passed all the necessary auditions and all that kind of stuff. We're about to do the blind audition, which they turned the chair on the show. A few days before that, the coach was in the room practicing with us, and she says, Joe, can you at the end, you have a really big voice. Can you do something at the end? Could you do some ad-libs? I'm like, sure.
Oh.
It would have been our first TV like competition performance. So they were saying like, we don't want you to look like you're the leader of the group. And that right there, like, spoke. So, like, my whole head was like,
right.
I was like, wait, what is going on? Why is this about this? I realized at that point that there was deeper things that I knew would be an issue going forward. And it started to really mess with our friendship. Yeah. It started to like put 2 against 1. It was really a lot, and no one knows this. I'm Courtney. I'm sharing this with you because I respect your platform and I trust you. And I mean, this is not me dogging them in any kind of way. This is the truth. One thing you're gonna know about me, guys: Joseph tells the truth. I told my family. Listen. I told my family, they were like, well, I mean, are you going to talk about our family? Yes, I am. Because it's made me who I am. And it's never to disrespect you. It's never to put you down. But I expect you to tell your truth too. And that was the truth. There was an underlying, and I'm not going to put any envy or jealousy on it, but I'm just saying there was concerns that we were dealing with that honestly, it was affecting our friendship, which was affecting the business, which was affecting everything else. Yeah. And so I made the decision. So people was like, so you was a Beyonce? And I'm like, no, because my first passion has always been coaching, directing, and arranging.
Yeah. And sometimes you just know, right?
Yeah,
like for the betterment of yourself and your spirit and where you want to progress to. Come on.
I had peace with it. I had peace with it.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
And I didn't, I said 2 years. This wasn't like an emotional thing, because, you know, sometimes it happens. People are like, I just quit, you know. I said, God, 2 years, you revealed to me in 2 years. So I want you to challenge yourself whenever you have to make big decisions. That was a huge decision, you know?
It was really specific. Like, God, 2 years, not God, give me time, or God, at some point, 2 years, God. 2 years. Please reveal yourself to me in 2 years. You know? And you still was there. You did the whole American Got Talent.
Nobody knew.
You know what I mean? Like, and no one knew. So my question is healing, right? How do you how do you heal past that? Because it wasn't like it was just 2 days, 2 weeks, 3 months, 10 years invested in something that most of us met you in. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of your followers, a lot of the people who support you met you as a trio, and now it's just JoJo doing his thing. Do you feel like, is it awkward sometimes? You get a lot of people who ask you like, where's your group?
Yeah, you know, some people, you know, oh my God, I love ReSound. But you know what? Nobody actually flipped when it happened. Nobody flipped on me. Nobody said anything. Everybody was kind of like, yeah, it was time.
Yeah.
Or a lot of people like, yeah, I get it. Like, you know, they were sad because I would never ever like neglect or in any kind of way put down the sound that we had. The sound we had was immaculate. The sound that we had was like angels. I would get chills just singing with them sometimes. Like it was out of this world amazing. And I thought that was the biggest thing for me. But the guy was like, nope, I got some bigger than a teddy bear. And he's like, I don't want you to take the teddy bear. And the guy's like, I got a huge one behind you, baby. You know, just trust me.
Like building the foundation, right? I'm preparing you for this because this is yet to come. But get through this, go through this.
Yes.
Progress, evolve, grow. Because that door, when that door opens,
you'll be ready.
Come on.
You'll be ready. So now the thing about it is that you mentioned that a lot of the people that follow me, and it could be not just based off of social media followers and numbers of all that kind of stuff, but my social media blew up. One was down, but then it was my niece. That there reached way beyond what ReSound did. And I think that was happening during America's Got Talent. It was at the same moment. It was the same season. And so that was strange, right?
Yes. So let's talk about that real quick. So we were all here minding our COVID habit business. All of us was minding in the house, just stuck in the house. And we all just happened to see JoJo with his niece busting out Ain't No Mountain High Enough. First of all, the only time I will ever have allowed it to be done was off the Sister Act. You can never tell me that anybody else could do this any better. Once again, as I flip through your page, I'm like, he didn't do it. No, yes, he did. He did. So let's talk about the development. Because let me explain something to you, ladies and gentlemen. Your niece is, oh my God, is insane.
Out of this world.
It makes me jealous. And I can't even name. And I'm like, oh my God. So let's talk about the idea behind the viral video, because it like you said, it hit astronomical numbers.
It hit oh my gosh. There was a record of over 100 million views.
100 million views.
Over 100 million views.
Everything I clicked, I'm like, this dude.
For about a whole month or two, it was everywhere. And it still carried us for almost a year. So, okay, so my niece comes over to visit. She is not in the, she's 12 at this point. Yeah, she's 12 at this point. She's, preteen. She doesn't know what she wants to do. Now, Bree has already been on Ellen. She's already, she's already had about 3 or 4 videos that were going viral. People were Tamar Braxton to Fantasia to Coco. I mean, everybody was sharing her stuff as just a single, soloist artist. And she's over the house and she was like, I don't feel like singing anymore. I was like, oh, no.
We're not gonna do that.
No, because it's overwhelming for them
Yeah.
at any age, but especially for a 12-year-old who's already experienced such exposure and so much. She was also getting bullied in school. I mean, it was a lot of stuff that was happening. So she was always looking, she always looked at me for comfort. She always looked at me to kind of coach her through. So we're on the couch and I said, let's just sing. It's always very
Let's just try
organic.
something. Let's just try a little something.
Let's just try something. So we just going through it and we recorded, we put it out there, had no idea. Had no idea that I've never seen it. I looked at my phone every second, 1,000. I was like, what is happening right now?
Wow.
To the point where we got to be on ABC The View with Whoopi Goldberg. And just because her experience and history with being a part of Sister Act, that was an honor for us, for her to be, just to bring us on and to love what we do and support us. I would never imagine it would ever get this big, because we've done a couple of videos together before. This was not the first time. And I have to remind people with this season of AGT, like people like, well, they have their comments, they say that they're whatever their opinions. I'm like, we've been doing this for like 5 years, y'all. So this has been some time, but I would never thought that video would bless so many people in so many different demographics, nationalities, backgrounds, all over. It literally humbled me and allowed me to see that this is when it happened. We just talked about earlier. This when I was like, you can do anything, Joe. You can do anything. It can still touch people doing any style, any genre, as long as you come with a good heart, So that changed my life. Changed my life. I don't care what they say. Yes, if you have a video that goes viral like that one did, oh yes, it can change your life. I was already coaching since 2013. That moment that video came out, the pandemic happened. People were forced to now remote jobs, teaching online. When I tell you, after that, I made 6 figures. For the first time in my life.
Wow. Talking about an open door, right? Talking about trusting God, even when you don't understand. Even when you don't understand. And then and not just trust God, but to reignite something in a little girl.
Oh, yes.
And like you were saying earlier, some people's passion die or they want to give up just because it seems hard. And somebody needs to remind them that, no, you don't get the right to give up. You don't get the right. So the fact that you reignited that, how did she feel when she saw that? Whoo! This hit me.
It was overwhelming. It was overwhelming for both of us because we kept getting calls every day. But it also, come on this and interviews in Australia. I mean, just so many different things. It reconfirmed, it validated why she was doing what she was doing. It validated her gift. It validated her calling. And Bree's different. People, again, they say she's very small, and they think that she is still a 9-year-old. She's almost 15 in 3 months. She has a mind of her own, but she's very, she's a human. She goes through the ups and downs, and because she's so small, people sometimes either try to take advantage or underestimate. And so the reason why God gave her, thank you, Lord, the reason God gave her that gift was to give her something to stand tall in, to be proud of. And her future is so bright. So she doesn't even understand it, but that's what I love about her. She's very humble. She don't like to talk about a lot of stuff about herself. She's very she is a normal now teenager. But it changed her life. It really broke her out of even doubting her gift anymore.
Because you can't. How can you? A million people told you were the bomb. How could you ever? You can't. So let's talk about America's Got Talent again. Right now you're going through this again. And I know you mentioned earlier about the negative comments and all of these things, because I can only imagine people saying, why is he back here again? like things of that nature. So talk about going through this, but with Bree this time, and how that experience was for you.
I've always wanted to take Bree under my wing because there are people, I'm gonna be honest, there are people that she's worked with that was not consistent with her. They wanted one thing.
Yeah.
And in some cases they got it. They got that one thing they wanted, and then all of a sudden, where are you?
No use to them, right?
She was the reason why I decided to put her under my wing, because I saw and invested in her as well, because I saw what God was doing in her life, and I wanted her to have someone to walk this journey with her consistently. So it was, so I'm gonna be honest, they called us. Let's just be real. They called us.
Just so you guys know, we didn't reach out. They did the reaching. Okay.
They actually tried to reach us. They actually tried to reach us the season after ReSound, but then it was too early.
Right.
There was like, we'll do season 17. And they called us. I mean, listen, guys, they called us. We answered. We went on that show, that audition, and that was another game changer because it was our first time singing live in front of an audience.
Yeah.
We've done shows like, like Zoom shows or different like, stuff on the internet, but never ever that experience. And to get the responses from the judges, woo!
Yeah.
Totally overwhelming, totally overjoyed. And to see the response, I think it was almost 30 million views on that performance there. And they made that one of the top favorite AGT auditions in the season. So it was great. And then to go back, I was like, ooh, Joe, you get to say 2 times. I was like, come on, God, To me, I was grateful for. There's not many people that can say that. There's not many people say they've made it through the show twice and got that exposure.
Yeah.
So it was a great experience. It was different because I know the spotlight was on her, but she wasn't going to do it without her uncle. And people don't know that. She was not going to do the show without her uncle. It had nothing to do with me. It was her comfort level because she knew who I was. She trusted me.
Yeah.
And it was our arrangements that got us, it's not just the voices, it's the arrangement, it's the harmonies and stuff. And you just can't touch it. If anybody's gonna be there, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna do it. So we took this journey together, and the ending was weird, but the beginning was fantastic.
Yeah. I think about, as you speak, I think about, being there, being that something to somebody that you were looking for and longing for in your parents, and being that safe haven.
Yes.
I kind of tie it together. Like, I'm not doing nothing without my uncle, and you saying, and I'm not doing it without you either. You know what I mean? I'm not going to leave you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's good. That's good, Courtney. That's so good.
I really
that's so good. Because it does go full circle. You don't want to repeat what you've been
going through,
what you've gone through, and the trauma, and you don't want to repeat that for you want to make a difference as one as a human being, but also as an uncle, to say, I want to be in your life consistently. I want to make sure that I'm there for you, because I wasn't afforded some of those same things.
But you've also been afforded the opportunity to travel internationally and do what you love internationally. So guys, he's also very, very humble, but I'm gonna put it on the front street. So he got signed to Simon Fuller's record agent label, and you were out there dipping it and doing it for these artists. First of all, I remember you crying in one of your videos, and I'm being and me crying with you because I was like, "My God, he got it!" Like, and being so excited because I've seen your journey, what you've showed to us, and it's been such an amazing experience. So how was that entirety? Getting the opportunity to travel across the world. I saw the group that you were working at one point. How was that entire thing, and what did it teach you about yourself?
So they reached out to me because of that Ain't No Mountain High Enough video. And I remember it was Thanksgiving. That was when I was ooh, I was weeping. Ooh, I was just so weeping.
It made them ugly cries too. It was
oh my
ugly
gosh.
cry.
But and it was different because God has always favored me and blessed me. And I think sometimes people can take those things for granted.
Yeah.
But this one blew me out of my mind because I didn't even know who Simon Fuller was.
Low key.
I said,
I
what?
thought that was Simon Cowell's like other name or something.
Listen, so I'm like, Spice Girls. I was like, what? The one who was the manager of Spice Girls, created the group. I'm like, what is this? The one who created American Idol, the one who started the Pop Idol in UK and then brought American Idol to the States, and then who was the So You Think You Can Dance, the creator of that. I'm like, who is this? And I looked him up. And I said, and I talked to the lady who reached out to me. Her name is Carrie. She's like his right hand woman.
Yeah.
And I literally lost it. And I remember that video because I said, God, I'm gonna thank you in private and also thank you in public.
Come on.
Because there's so many people who do it in private, but for some reason they don't want to thank God in public. Like if they're ashamed. I'm not ashamed of who he is, what he's done for me. And that experience, once I realized, I said, you want me to coach your projects, you help your artists with these labels. You brought me in to do this in Abu Dhabi, to Brazil, to New Mexico, to all over. I get even emotional just thinking about it now because I was a kid watching American Idol.
Yes.
It would have never known. Thank you, God. I would have never known watching that on the living room floor that you will be working with the man who created this.
Favor.
I just never ever thought that would ever come to pass. It just blew my mind. And then working with him, and he loves some Joseph, and I love me some Simon. And he takes care. I've never been pampered or never been taken care to that point where it's like, I'm. It's even weird to say I'm working for a billionaire, but that doesn't even it don't even sound right. But that's just what God is. He does things that just don't even like, what are you doing?
Can't even process.
And obviously work with him, the first project, he was like, come to the next project, Yes. Now I was on his team, and I'm still working on a really big project coming out really soon. I just call myself blessed. I'm grateful. I am grateful to do what I love.
Come on.
To do what I love. Everybody can't say that, so I don't take these moments for granted. Yeah, hold on, guys.
It's the giving back that always hits me. When I first saw, I know you've been doing this in 2013, but I guess a lot of us were able to see this in fruition when COVID happened. Because like I said, we were all in the house, just stuck here looking at each other. I got to see, Clarke's vocal coach. Yeah. And all that you put into it and investing in it. And I remember even you coming online and just telling people about it, and to just see how big it's gotten. Your baby becoming an adult, right? Like your baby getting legs and walking. So talk about the pouring into other individuals and training them, whether it be via Zoom or in person. What does that do for you when you see them flourish?
And I'm trying my hardest. It gives me purpose. Because we all search around and we say, God, what do you have me here for? What's going to happen next? Yeah. And even just recently, I'm working with Noah Houston, which is Whitney Houston's nephew. Michael Houston, if y'all know the story, if you're a Whitney fan, you know Whitney. Right. Whitney had a brother named Michael, and then had a son named Noah. He's 7 years old, and they give me purpose. Yeah, I wake up, and even though nobody wants to wake up and work, the moment I see a student of mine or teaching, it's all of a sudden it's just in me. My whole mood changes. I've always been a person where I want to fix things.
Yeah.
I want to fix it, and not for my glory, but for God's. Because if his whole thing is I am controlling and have power over this whole universe, and I'm giving this person a job, because we can't touch everybody.
Yes.
But somebody can touch somebody.
Come on.
And it will continue to just keep multiplying until it's reached into the, and so it gives me purpose. It gives me purpose. It gives me I'm one thing about me, which y'all may see, because I'm always have my hand in something. I'm very like, well, what's next?
Yes, right. Yep.
What's next? What we doing? I have some plans up to coming up in the future. I've always been like that. Yeah. And so it gives me purpose. Courtney, it does. Yeah.
I want to play a little game with you.
Okay.
So I love song association, and and what better way for me? This whole time I kept saying, what am I going to do with him? Your voice is this. I couldn't think of anything else. So we're going to play song association. I'm going to give you 4 words, and the word could be in the title or the lyrics of the song. Everybody has 10 seconds. He better get all his coaching. He better get every word in this.
I don't know, y'all. He's a little slow.
So our first word is going to be wish.
Okay.
10 seconds and go.
Oh, I got it. When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come to you.
You better. Let's. All right. Our second word is nobody. 10 seconds. Oh.
Nobody like you, Lord. Nobody like you, Lord. Hey, oh. I like Miranda. I
was getting ready to jump. Don't get me started. Ease me in. All right. Our third word is love.
Go. Oh God. Well, that's one of my, my favorite R&B songs is love, so many things I got to tell you, but I'm afraid I don't know how. Because there's a parts of y'all probably sing it right with me. Parts of that I tell you. That's it. That's it.
Our last word is high. H-I-G-H.
Ooh, high. Oh God, Lord, I lift your name on.
No, ain't nobody was trying to hear that one.
You said any song that has high.
You were waiting to hear something. Ain't no mountain high never been.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's how bad it is.
I love you.
I won. I love it. Thanks, Courtney. I won that. I just demolished that.
Let them know. You got all of them.
Thank God.
When you think back to your start, right? Just being a 12-year-old in the choir, to now, and all the major accomplishments that you've been able to just manifest and pray over and allow God to be God with. What do you say to your younger self? What are the conversations that you're having with young JoJo?
Ooh. Timing is everything. Don't rush time.
Come on.
Don't rush time. Time helps you to grow. Time molds you. Time matures you. Time develops skill set.
Yeah.
Time renews mindset. So it's like, if you can't rush it, and no matter what you do, it ain't gonna happen until God says it. So you just gotta keep on. Sit back, eat your popcorn, keep on doing what you're doing, and let God have his way, because it's not gonna happen until he wants it to happen. Some of us are not mature enough. People ask me all the time, like, why haven't you put an album out? Why have you not done original music? And I have original music.
Yeah.
Timing. timing.
Yes.
That's all.
Yes.
I'm not going to do it because you want me to do it. I'm going to do it when it's best.
Yes.
So that I get the best result. You know, I can make it impactful. So that's how I would tell my younger self, chill out. You were a little ugly back in the day. When you had some moments, and in time, God has done a work in you and a work over you. From physical to spiritual to vocally, to musical, anything. It's all happening with time. You can't rush it. You just have to live it. You just have to live it. So don't rush it. It's going to happen in time. You just focus on the season right now, because I'm telling you now, I would have never thought at 12 years old that I would be where I am today.
Come on. Speaking about where you are today, you said something just now about physical, and we've been big our whole lives. You know what I mean?
Yes, Lord.
That's what we know, because cornbread and stuffing and ham. And
grandma says, eat all the food. Grandma says, eat all this food, and then I got some more if you want some.
So I know you spoke openly about struggling with your weight and then doing something about it. I think a lot of times people just want God to just boom and make it happen. You got to do something about it. Now, originally, when you were in ReSound, you were going through the weight loss thing, and like all of us, we gain it back. Life happens, but this time your journey has been. I love this word you used today, and it's my word of the day with you: consistent.
Yeah.
Consistent. You can't just show up for everybody else and not yourself.
Yes.
Showing up for yourself. So how has it been? I know you celebrated your weight loss at the hospital, and I was so like, yes, let's go. How has this journey been for you?
The first time I did it, which when I was in ReSound, I dropped so fast. It was like maybe like 7-8 months, and I was doing it for the wrong reason. I was doing it to get quick results. I was doing it for the wrong reasons. And that's anybody who's ever lost a lot of weight and gained it back, you realize that you were on the right path, but your mindset still wasn't there. Yeah. And it happens, but this time is different because I'm looking at it as taking care of myself, not just losing weight so that I can be a certain look or like it was a lot different this time. I've really worked my butt off during the pandemic because a lot of people didn't have jobs or maybe wasn't as active. But my 2 years, it's going on, just past 2 years in April or March, was constantly 10, 11 sessions a day, 6 days a week. So everybody had the time to take lessons. And so it was very hard. And that I just gained. When I watched back Total Praise video, some people don't even recognize, they have to look at me twice sometimes now. They say, is that the same? Was that you? So with time, because I've been listening with time, just like earlier, it's going to happen in time. You cannot rush even your weight loss, guys. Like you gotta, it's a mindset you gotta really change that you've been in a habit for 2 or 3 decades. And with the Black church, even with after school, not after school, but after church activities. We got fried chicken in the back, we got scabs in the back, we got everything in the back. And we just ate the Kool-Aid was stronger than it was too strong, but we drunk it. And it was just old bad habits, overeating, stress eating, not eating so late where it lays on your stomach. And so many things. I got a trainer this time. Last time I did it by myself, and I was like, I'm going to do a whole lot of cardio. And the reason why I gained it back because I didn't have the right technique and how to be able to lose and how to be able to learn about your nutrition and food.
In your body.
Yeah. And so I'm 6'5", 6'6". So I can't change everything. But what I can change is how I feel about myself. About myself. It's not even like the weight. Like that's whatever. It's about how you feel. And are you taking time to take care of you? Because our Black people are dying because we're just not taking care of ourselves. And that's more than just going to the gym and eating, right? That's massages. That's your rest. that's taking care of your body, lotion in your body. Because let me tell you something, people, little stuff like that that we don't do because we are just like in this zone of like, we're forgetting that, hey, this is our temple. We have to make sure we feel good while we're living, you know? And so this journey has been, it's ongoing. It's amazing. I see the difference it makes. I can see like, well, even AGT.
I see it in your skin. That was the first thing, how your skin lightened up. I see, yeah.
Because of the toxins. Yes. Yep, that grease, baby. And I love me some fried food. And so, you know, when I realized, oh my gosh, like this is what God has for me, and I've been kind of just like what? So it is definitely a mindset, and I encourage anybody that's on this journey, if you do fall, just get back up tomorrow.
Come on.
Just get back up tomorrow. Like if you do mess up, get back up tomorrow. It's the consistency for me. Is that, because that's the only thing that makes changes, but not just with weight loss, with anything you do in life. If you're not consistent, you're never going to see the potential, the full potential of what it can be.
Yeah. So what do you have coming up? I know you probably can't tell us everything, but what do you have coming up that you can share, and how can we support you?
So I really want a group. I want a choir again. I told myself.
The people looking at you like, no, you're not. No, you not.
Joe, how do you handle it? So of course, coaching is one thing. There's a show. Hopefully next year it would launch. That I'll be on. That's supposed to be really huge. That I'll be coaching on. I like a reality show.
Nice.
So I'm excited for that. And then I want to start a group called 21 Voices. I've been praying about it for about a year, 2 years. And I miss arranging. I did a couple of arrangements with Black Awakening Choir, Precious Lord, the Star Spangled Banner. And I put them, I mean, these videos are old, but I put them out, they still go viral. And I'm like, funny. You know, and I'm like, I've been posting this 3 times. People still ain't seen it. Like on TikTok right now, it's doing my Precious Lord. We just doing a reaction to it. It's you know, got almost like 500,000 views. It's like, guys, this has been out for a while, but I miss that. Courtney, I miss arranging for groups and choirs. That's what I really love to do. So that's going to be happening. Then there's Black Nativity. Anybody come to Atlanta, please come see Black Nativity. It is life-changing.
I think I'm going to go this year.
Please, we can go to lunch. Please, we got a link. Like, seriously.
So serious.
My mom came, she was like, she caught the Holy Ghost in it. It's phenomenal. And I, even being a part of it, sometimes we don't get to see kind of like what's happening throughout it all because you're a part of it. Everybody that has come, everybody I invited, everybody that came said, wow, we've never seen a gospel musical like this. It is extraordinary. Wow. And I got offered last year to be on this year. So I am super excited. That starts the first week of December. So please, if you are in Atlanta, Black Nativity, they have three weekends, first, second, third weekend of December. 4 shows, 5 shows a week, Thursday, Friday, 2 Saturday, and a Sunday. You gotta come. It is a worship experience.
We'll definitely talk after, because I'll make plans to make it out there. If you could think of a saying, right, that's allowed you the opportunity to just make this happen in your life right now, right? Something you told yourself outside of like to take time. For me, it's my motto: you don't get the right to give up. But for you, what saying do you use to motivate you and keep you going, even when you are facing so many odds? You can share with other people right now.
I don't know if it's a specific phrase, but I always tell myself, you won't know unless you do it. You won't know. You just won't know. Fear it can ruin you. It can haunt you if you let it. But on the other side of fear is strength. And I'm telling you now, if you just push through and if you just allow yourself to not let any fears or doubts, remember, there's purpose for you too.
Come on.
There's purpose for you too. So please, 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 you know, yes, it's going to be scary because life is scary. Every day waking up, how to pay your bills, how to be able to stay on top of things, how to support your family, you know, and then take care of you at the same time. It's going to be a lot. Yeah. But that's when you got to pull on strength that's not human strength. You got to pull on strength from the one who gave it, who authorizes, who is the one that's most powerful out of all, you know, of all. And we pull on him, and just know that I'm praying for you. I'm praying for you, and I'm thinking about you, and I'm hoping that through this interview, or even something that was said earlier, or even if it comes after this, please don't give up. Come on. Don't give up. You can make it.
Guys, first and foremost, I thank all of you who have tuned in so far. This is the final episode of the season. I have been doing this whole season since January. We went through the summer, and the last guest is somebody who I admire so much. Guys, please, 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 if you have done nothing yet, I need you to go follow Joseph B. Clarke because I said so. Just because I said so. That's it. That is it. I thank Joe, I thank you so much for being my last guest of the season. You have no idea how much I wanted this. And I thank you for always pouring in me. I think watching your videos has allowed me sometimes an opportunity to just escape. Right? I even remember when I came onto your live and you coached me. Even in those few minutes, I was like,
oh yes,
this is a friend of my head. Like already,
I love it.
I am so excited that this has become a real thing. I'm always I'm gonna continue following you, your journey, your success, because it's purposeful and I need it. And so do all of us that are watching right now. So we thank you. And I thank all of you for watching One-on-One with Courtney Starks. We're back later in the fall. I love you guys. But I'm tired and I need a break.
Period. Courtney, before you go, I want you to know this. I want you to know that what you're doing right now is making a difference. And even when you doubt it, and even when you feel like things are not working the way it's supposed to, again, that time, you just keep on doing what you're doing because you're going to elevate. You're going to go to the next level because of your heart, because you mean this, you love this, and you just want to be able to spread the goodness of God, but also help others get through. Like this was low-key therapy for me, guys. I'm just being honest right now. This is low-key therapy to take a moment and to think about what God has done and to have such a heart like yours to be able to link and connect with. You're a blessing, and I want you to know that. And I speak nothing but success and favor and blessings and just overwhelming joy over this whole your company, your future. Like God's about to do something really big.
Thank you.
He really is.
So much. Guys, you're gonna try to make me cry. But we gotta go. I love you so much all for watching.
Love you too.
And I'll see y'all soon. Have a good one, guys.
Bye-bye.